Hello everyone, thank you for joining us for tonight's recording of Ordcast episode 25. We are going to begin momentarily. Yes, and with us today we have all of our hosts this week. It's going to be a fun and memorable show. Well, on that note, let's go ahead and step into our intro. Hope you guys enjoy. We'll see you on the flip side.
Beginning transmission.
Live from the bridge of the Republic command ship, the Ordelian, and orbiting the space around Carrick Station, welcome to the Ordcast.
Oh, the Republic died! Please have been thinking we're gonna be Orca died!
A podcast for players and fans of Star Wars The Old Republic and members of the Old Republic Dad Guild, located on the Shadowlands server.
Today is Sunday, April 22nd, and welcome to Ordcast 25, the new Hangout. This evening with us is Blue Heart. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. How is everyone?
Oh, we're all peachy. You know that.
Of course.
Also, Scuba Steve. I think he needs to take mute off.
Yes.
Very good point. As I was saying, PG indeed.
Nice.
Awesome. Cash.
Good evening, my friends. I'm ready to rock. I do have a disclaimer, though. I am recording from work, so if you hear me run out in a hurry and you hear sirens in the background, it's probably a pretty good indicator that I had to leave.
It's Fireman Cash to the
Awesome.
rescue. And Lynn Sarastro is with us, but he is
Online here at the
online.
moment.
Awesome. Okay.
Uh-oh. Talk about perfect timing when I pick up the headset, huh?
Back from your trip into Central America.
I am. I am back from Nicaragua, unharmed and fired up.
And pretty much still the same, good for the wear, yeah.
Yeah, no worse for wear, and ready to
Welcome
go.
back.
Thank you.
Okay, Mike, are you ready? I know you have a lot of talking to do here.
I do have a lot of talking to do. Feel free to interrupt me at any time so I'm not absolutely hogging up this mic. But
Okay, wait.
we-
Talking
Oh, sorry. Did somebody
Okay.
have a question? I blacked out for a second. Okay. We got a whole bunch of stuff going on for the comlink this week. I'll just
Did
go
someone
ahead.
say comlink?
I believe we did.
Oh, okay. Let's do this. Perhaps.
Incoming transmissions.
So to start us off here on the comlink, we had an auction recently where a Tonfon was auctioned off. I believe it was Jenny that donated the Tonfon. Is that true?
No, it was Yoji.
Oh my gosh, Yoji, I'm very sorry. But anyway, thank you so much. I believe these the Tonfons were given away at PAX East, and one of our fine members was able to get a hold of one and auctioned it off. And the auction, the proceeds from the auction went to the Guild Bank. We're trying to open up as many tabs as we can, so this one definitely helped quite a bit. The winner was Silas Jazar, and the winning bid was 2.5 million credits. So that is an incredible donation. Thank you very much for the donation.
That was insane. Watching the thread was freaking hilarious.
Yes, and that was it was very entertaining to see how fast a lot of those bids went down, and when it surpassed about 1 million credits, I was watching it very
Holy
close,
cow.
and it was awesome. So anyway,
Was it a forum
2.5
thread?
million. Yeah, it was a forum thread.
Yeah,
I
it
gotcha.
went beyond my means before I even saw the post was up. I mean,
Dang.
it was like at 1 million before I even saw the post was up. And I was, wow, okay.
Yeah, and you
Yeah,
know,
I had
it's
a lot
funny,
of fun
too.
participating in that one as well.
I know there's a lot of us that have donated credits. I donated what I thought was a pretty decent sum, and I was absolutely humbled to see the 2.5 million credits. I just went, oh my gosh, that would have wiped me out 2 times over. So anyway, thank you. That was wonderful for the guild, and I'm sure that's definitely going to help get some tabs open. So if you want to continue to donate money for the guild banks for opening up the tabs, that would be very helpful. Please feel free to do so. On to some very big news. We have announced yesterday, Saturday, that would have been the 21st, that we have decided to make the move from Guild Launch to Engine.com. There's been a lot of questions out there about why we've decided to make the move, and I think once you get over there and you register, you'll quickly see why we decided to make the move. And it's certainly not to take anything away from Guild Launch, because they've treated us extremely well. But the functionality at Engine just far surpasses what we could even expect from guild hosting. So really, the reason is the increase in functionality. The site is very fast. The responsiveness of the site is really fast. The administrative options are really good for the guild leadership. There, if you haven't taken a look at the operations page, the Ordcast page, it's just fantastic. There's a chat room, which I know a lot of us have already used, and it's just a lot of fun. So go over there, register, and really take a look and play with it. We're going through the applications very quickly. So I know there's several of the officers checking it several times a day to get our folks registered. When you do register, if you can, try and get your guild launch name in there when you register. And the reason being is because we're verifying everybody via our master roster, just to make sure that we don't have any other folks trickling in there. Because the application link is open for the public right now, so but we are not recruiting, so we're having to do the verification just based off of existing members. Here's the other big thing. We have decided to attach all of your alts to your profile. So as soon as you get on and you create your account, please attach your alts. The community division is trying to streamline our process into checking in. You guys have noticed that when you ask for alt invites, we have to do some verification and so on and so forth. So the verification process is infinitely easier if you add the alts that you want to your profile, because it's basically a 1 or 2 click search for us on the Engine site to verify you, and then we can invite your alt in game. So that is, from now on, is going to be a requirement that your alts are attached to that profile before we invite any additional alts. So please do that, and do your best to help us out with that. In response to the guild launch forums, they'll be up for a couple of weeks, and so if you have any posts that you want to get moved over, that you want to fire up again over on the Engine site, feel free to do so. We're not going to be moving a lot of the content over. A lot of the important stuff has already been moved over, so if you have anything that's really close to your heart, then let us know and we can get those posts moved over. So like I said, after 2 weeks, that's going to be cut down. And basically all you're going to see on the Guild Launch site is the links to get you over to Engine, and the functionality there will eventually close down. So please make your registration over on Engine.
Hey, Mike, I have a question for you.
Shoot.
As we're converting or transferring over to our new website, who are the gurus that know the ins and outs of our Engine site that if we have any questions, they would have the answer to?
The 2 gurus that have really been instrumental in getting this website set up and getting the functionality correct is Brian, our last post, and our fearless guild leader, Larry, or SWTOR Dad. Those 2 are really the brains of the operation at this point. And you know, if anybody else is they're doing really good. And then also Leland is doing a great job with helping us over there too. He's also known as Varden. He's one of our other founders. There's been a lot of other people who have put their hands in it. For example, the wiki site that was put up is just amazing. So thank you everybody for the hard work that you put into it. And we're really looking forward to our new home. Another thing to go along with it, there is a cost that's incurred with all that functionality that we have. So there's already been several people that have donated to the website to keep it running strong. You can do so on the left-hand column of the main page there at the Old Republic Dad cited engine. So that would be greatly appreciated. And the other thing is too is, you know, if you want to buy T-shirts and stuff on the Ord shop, you can do that. And that also helps to go toward the account that we have set up to help us continue to run the site. With that, anybody have any other questions about the website? Relatively smooth transition, so thank you all for all your work with that. The 24th, which is Tuesday, is going to be the last day for the Tatooine Rakghoul event that BioWare put out. I have had an absolute blast with it. I got a couple little Rakghouls running around, and I can't even count how many times I've exploded. So it's just been a real fun thing. I'm sure you guys have all had some fun with it too. Have you guys had a chance to play with it?
It's fun to explode.
Yeah, it's been a blast. It's a really neat event. So if you don't know, it does end on the 24th. So get out there and get everything you can out of it until the next World event, which who knows when that's coming. Along with the new site, we've had a couple of folks who are going to be sorely missed vacate the community division. So we're going to bring in some new officers, and there's some movement within the community division. Barrett, or also known as Grizel, is going to take the position of community master, and Michael is going to also Mike is also going to take the position of recruitment master, and we're also going to be bringing on a couple more community lords here within the coming days to really kind of streamline the process of getting people into the new website, a little more help with people in game, and so we're trying to just be as available as we can, and I've seen several of the other officers that are in game that aren't in community really helping out and answering questions and getting people directed in the right direction. So thank you very much for doing that. You guys have been instrumental in kind of keeping the community run smooth. If you haven't done so already, please try to stop using the Ord channel in game and join the Ord chat channel. And for instructions on how to get that set up, you can either ask an officer or you can look on the website, look on the forums. That's actually what we'd prefer you to do, is just to look on the forums. There's some real easy to follow directions on how to get that channel set up in game. But as soon as we get the administrative privileges, we have a member that's been gone for a little while because she's doing a move. Once she gets back, she's going to give us back that functionality for the Ord channel, and that'll be taken down. So we're going to be exclusively using the Ord chat channel.
Just
there's
for
been a
quick reference there, Mike. How do you leave a channel in SOTOR?
I believe it is /C leave and then a space and then whatever channel it's called. So in this case, it'd be /C leave space and then ORD.
Okay,
and that
cool.
would take you out of that channel.
I figured we'd throw that out here on the podcast, and it'll be a short little...
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. And you know, the best part is that I knew how to leave that channel, because if I didn't, I'd be like, oh.
Put you on the spot, huh?
Yeah, no, that was good. That was
Nice.
good. Okay, there's been a couple events and things going on that were brought up within the community, and we're very supportive of these things that are popping up. If you would, though, if you wouldn't mind, just throw the idea to an officer before you decide to launch any of these events. And the only reason being is because we got, the Ord name's getting pretty big, and we need to kind of keep a rein on things getting too out of hand with what's going on out there. So if you guys wouldn't mind, and it's the likelihood of us saying no to anything is pretty darn low, because we want our community active, but at least so the leadership has knowledge of what's going on out there. If you guys would just send a PM to an officer or something before, or even talk to us in raid call before you launch any of these events, that would be awesome. And like I said, the likelihood of us saying no is pretty low. So we're just asking so that we have the knowledge of what's going on. I guess we have a Mandalore winner. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yes, we do,
There's
and
the
it was
rumor.
Yeah,
freaking
that's what I heard, man.
awesome.
It was an awesome fight.
And you know what? We've prepared a special occasion for this individual. I'll be right back. We are going to
Is anyone else
express our gratitude in song. And I'm going to play
no.
the guitar, and Mike is going to sing the gratitude song. Are you ready, Mike?
Let's do this.
All right. Aw, you brother man. Get funky.
We have a winner for the Mandalore. The winner is Calarius. I can't believe it. You squeezed it out.
He squeezed what out?
The last post did
Oh,
win,
the winner.
That's okay, because I get to rub it in. Oh,
Okay.
Oh, wait.
sorry.
Bravo,
about that.
bravo.
Okay,
Beautiful.
think we need
Thank
to
you.
move on from that.
Thank you very much.
All right, so that's going to go on an outtakes episode because that was.
Oh, man. That's awesome.
Hell.
Bravo,
That's going in
bravo.
the best of.
Right. So I can't sing. We've already established this. And with that, that's the end of the Tom Link. I've got nothing.
Oh, I think it's a time
Thank
for
God.
a sponsor break so we can recollect ourselves. What do you think?
I think I vomited on myself is what happened.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and we'll take this opportunity. Let's see. Who do we have for our sponsor this week? Let me pull it up here. Oh, if you guys are ever feeling hungry, stop by the Fleet and give Prime Days a try. If you're ever on Tatooine and you need some water, try Vapor Vicks. So let's go ahead and listen to the sponsors real quick, and we'll see you here momentarily.
Right now, Prime Days has 2 new Inca Boonga entrees. Come try our new Grancha Bantha Burger with a side of Carillion potato strips, or the new Wonky Nerf Steak with stuffed Felucian glass-top mushrooms. Each come with your choice of a blue milkshake or Tabana split. These new entrees and more are waiting for you at Prime Days on the Republic Fleet. And remember, everything's Mogutu at Prime Days.
VaporVic here! Have Jawas been dismantling your evaporators for spare parts? Have you gotten tired of continually having to unclog your old evaporator from all that sand? Then what you need is a new evaporator from VaporVix. Right now we're slashing prices for our biggest sale of the year. When you come in today, you can trade in your old, worn-out equipment for a top-of-the-line moisture evaporator with 0 down and no interest for the first 4 months. I must be severely dehydrated to offer deals that are this low-cost. But don't wait too long, folks. This deal is not going to stick around very long, and pretty soon it's going to get swept away by the Dune Sea like everything else out here on Tatooine. Visit Vapor Vicks in Anchorhead and go home with a new moisture evaporator today!
All right, guys. So those are our sponsors for this week, and go ahead and give them a look up if you're on Tatooine or on the Fleet. And let's step back into the show, into our spotlight, and alrighty, Mike, go ahead and take us away.
All right, for the Ord Spotlight this week, this one actually just popped up. This is going to be a mention and a story. So, you know what? Grab hold of the person closest to you and grab some popcorn, because this will be a good, happy story about Ord.
Can you hold my hand?
I already am.
Oh, stop it.
From a few states away.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's obvious I think we made Steve uncomfortable. All
Is
right,
it possible
so
to make Steve uncomfortable? I don't think so.
Absolutely.
So the spotlight this week is going to be a major shout out to one of our very own Ord members. I'm not sure if anybody knows about the in 1.2 when the patch came out. Also, what came out was a very rare spawn, and the rare spawn that's out there is on Alderaan, and it is for an Orakeet egg. Now, this Orakeet egg is in very remote spots, and if you want to find them, you can Google them. I know it's place, and with 1,000 members, place is probably going to get very populated now. So anyhow, this particular spot spawns an orchid egg that you can go through the process of hatching, and then out comes a rare pet. Well, the spawn timer on this thing is roughly about 4 hours, and it takes a while for the thing to respawn, and you can imagine how crowded it is at these particular areas. So for the past 6 days, I have been trying my darndest to get one of these eggs. And I've been logging in and out of cache, and I've kind of had him parked at one of these spots. And so anyway, after 6 days of logging in at all hours of the day and night, I still was unable to get one of these eggs. Well, in my travels over there, while on this hunt, one of our very own members, Breeza, also known as Chimbu on one of their alts, was there, and we'd get to talking a little bit while he was over there trying to get the egg. Well, he ended up getting the egg, and he was nice enough to pull out the egg and show me the pet, which is a really cool little pet. So, long story short, I set my this is where the freak in me comes out. Last night I set my alarm to wake up at a little bit before 3:00 a.m. Pacific Standard Time to try and get the one of the spawn times for this thing to come out. And even if there's several people standing around this egg, as soon as it comes out, it literally does not take a second. As soon as the egg shows up, somebody's kneeling down and grabbing it, it's gone. So once again this morning, I was unsuccessful in getting the egg. So I was just going to send out a congratulations to whoever got it and roll over and go back to sleep. Well, just as I was about to do so, this particular person, Chimbu, like I said, also known as Breeza, did a trade request with me and was wanting to give me the egg. So he was the one that got the egg on this particular harvest and wanted to give me the egg. So Breeza wouldn't take no for an answer, and I was floored by it. And basically what he told me was, this is just thanks for all the work that you do in the community. And I was so humbled, I could not believe it. And I offered to pay him. He said nope. And so anyway, long story short, Cash now has an egg, and I wanted to throw a shout out there and just really say once again how humbled I am and really how much this meant to me, and it just goes to show how awesome of a community we have. So Breeza, thank you very much. The least I could do is to give you a shout out on our podcast. I also gave you a big shout out on Old Republic Radio earlier today.
Awesome.
So thank you so much. And you know what, if anybody sees Breeza out there, just let them know what a cool thing that was he did for me, and it was very much appreciated.
Awesome. Let's give a cheer for him, huh?
Yeah, for sure. You take
Everyone
the
hold
word
up your
spotlight.
glasses. Cheers.
Thank you. Pour one out for my homies.
All right. If I pour it out in here, they'll have to clean it up, so I'll do it later.
So that concludes the spotlight.
Yeah, well, that's awesome, man. Typically, we'll have the person that we're spotlighting on the podcast with us, but this week we're just giving a shout out. And thanks for doing that, Mike.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, Steve, you ready to take us here into the round table, my man?
Let us go.
All right, let's do it.
All right, this week's round table for this episode took us a while because with the moving and everything, for people to respond. Of course, the launch of 1.2, everybody was worried about playing the game rather than being on forums, which is totally understandable. But first question, which this one is probably going to be semi-controversial or a little awkward for some of people to answer probably, came from Nepthin, one of our members, and asked, what grade would you give BioWare on their implementation of patch 1.2 and its aftermath? Mike, why don't you go ahead and start us off with your opinion there?
Break the water, Mike.
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna give them a B plus, and the only reason that I'm gonna say a B plus is just because of the little ranked PvP Warzone debacle. I'm sure what most likely happened is that BioWare ran into an issue, right toward the end, and the fact that it didn't come out really, I think, bummed a lot of people out. But for me, the reason why they're gonna and why they ended up with the plus on the B is just because they made it right and they did everything that they could to say, hey, you know what? We want it to come out and we want it to be perfect when it comes out. So we're gonna take it back, do some more work on it. And you know what? We know that there's people out there that are bums. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to give you 30 free days of game time. We're going to give you a Tauntaun pet. They just made it right. So I know it's probably it's still taking a lot of flack out there, and that's completely understandable. But I think BioWare's in just as much of a learning process as this, as we're all, learning this relatively new game too. So I tend to give them a little more wiggle room. I think a lot of that reason is just because I was lucky enough to have the opportunity to meet a lot of these folks and really see how much they care about the game. And they're all playing this game and they all want the game to be great, and they don't want anything to come out that's broken or is not working right. So I'm going to give them a B plus on the entire thing. As a matter of fact, maybe a B plus plus. If everything would have gone absolutely perfect and that would have come out too, then I would have absolutely given them an A. But based off of everything else that came out, even some of the nerfs and stuff that people aren't real happy about, I'm extremely pleased with it. And I do have to say that 1.2 has completely refreshed my my attitude toward the game. Not that it was bad in the first place, but I was starting to experience a little bit of fatigue. And I'm having a blast. I think I've put more time in this last week than I ever have in the game. So definitely very, very pleased with it.
Thank you. How about you, Chris?
So I'm gonna preface this with saying that I was very excited for patch 1.2. It was overhyped. You guys kind of agree on that end?
It was hyped up. Oh
Yes.
yeah.
It almost had to be.
It's it was hyped up to be the Rolls Royce that had every feature possible, and nothing's gonna be broken. Everything's gonna, the Jesus patch that people were calling it. When you have that much hype behind something, it's hard to follow, to actually release something up. Yeah, to come through on that hype. But so I was really excited. For 2 or 3 days, I played pretty heavily after patch 1.2 came out, and then I actually sat down and did the math. So right now I have to play really casually because I have no time. You guys probably haven't seen me on very much at all, but played pretty heavy. Then I did the math to figure out how much time it was gonna take me to earn some of my new PvP gear, and I got a little discouraged and ran into some issues in PvP with some no reward scenarios, and then my connection started wigging out, so I'd end up fighting for 12 minutes, and then literally 30 seconds before the war zone would end, I'd get disconnected. That happened 3 times in a row, pretty much at the same exact time in the war zone. So I had to put it down for a while and walk away. But I would, if I graded it, I would probably give it a fair C+, I guess, to be fair. The reason why not an A, 6 hours before patch came out, they dropped the no ranked warzone thing, and since it was a last minute change, they still had some things in there that were for ranked war zones. There's some crystals and different things that you can only purchase if you have a ranked warzone rating, so they were unable to release that into the game that I play the most heavily in a polished state, so it kind of affected me in that way. UI, oh my gosh, tons better than I thought it was going to be. It's beautiful, and there's a few things here and there that they could refine on that, but all in all, I think it's a good patch. They released more content, and but I think it could have just been a little bit better, or some of the things handled a little better. Saying that, they did give us some perks. They gave us 30 days extra gratis on them, right? Not many companies do that. If you have to calculate how much money they gave away right there, That's quite a bit. So kudos to BioWare for doing that. Not many companies would take care of their fan base like that. So I guess that's my 2 cents.
Awesome. All right, Lynn, are you here and available?
I am here. I'm gonna have to give them a B plus, kind of like Cash did. There were a couple of things I was really disappointed in. I was disappointed that the ranked war zones weren't in the patch. Um, but being as how my big focus is PvE, that wasn't as big a deal to me. That will come. It'll probably be in the next patch. If it's not, maybe it'll be in the one after that. But I really want them to get that right before they put it in the game. Um, wasn't necessarily thrilled with the fact that they killed the social items without warning us. They could have given us a heads up on that. Again, not something that really affects me greatly because I'm still social rank 1. But there was a lot of people that were displeased about that. And one thing that I was a little bit concerned about is for a few days after the patch came out, another little patch the next day, another little patch here, little patch here, little patch here, little patch here. They had a lot of issues there that they had to fix along the way, which makes me think that even as long as we felt like it took for it to come out, maybe they rushed it a little. But on the plus side, PvE is my big thing. I love ops, much like Scuba Steve here. I love the new content. I am absolutely thrilled with explosive conflict.
Oh my God, you
It
said it right.
has, I know, huh? It has given me an opportunity to do what I plan to do from the beginning of the game, which is go back to shadow tanking. Um, and it's a challenge. A lot of times in other games, new raids, new ops, whatever you want to call them, have come out, and we've just kind of plowed right through them. We haven't really had a challenge set before us. Explosive conflict comes out, and I almost said it wrong then. Explosive conflict comes out, and it's tough.
It
But
ain't a joke, that's for sure.
the honey badgers are plowing through it as best as we can, and we are making progress. Bosses are dying left and right, and you know it's been a lot of fun to go with. So
Hey, Mike,
B
can you?
plus on the whole.
Or I'm sorry, Lynn. Can you explain what the honey badgers are?
The honey badgers is the name of our ops team, loosely, jokingly named after the viral internet video, and of course, me and Steve living in the Baton Rouge area, being LSU Tiger fans, loosely based on Tyrann Mathieu as well. Basically, what the honey badgers are excellence. Wouldn't you say, Steve?
Yes, honey badgers don't care.
Honey badger just loots what he wants.
Yeah.
If you haven't done it already, you need to YouTube the honey badger.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can't
Just a
really, can't really
warning.
say. Yeah, there's
Just
a warning on
there
it,
is some language, so
There's
don't
a
want to
little
watch it
bit of
around
language.
kids.
but it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, go ahead and continue. Sorry for interrupting you there, man.
But well, I was pretty much done. That was the kicker for me. The new op content really kind of pushed it back into the good range for me, and really just about made it into that A range.
Awesome. Hey, Kim, you've been kind of quiet since the introduction. How about your thoughts on this?
Okay, so I'm going to start off with a little disclaimer as well. With any release, I always expect there to be patches right afterwards. Something doesn't go out right. So the whole idea that there was a patch for like the couple of days after the fact every day, that didn't really bother me too much. It seems to be how it is with pretty much every game. So in regards to implementation in that way, I don't really have an issue with it. I actually had an issue with 1.2, and luckily I left for business travel the day 1.2 released. So I got upset when 1.2 released and then left for 5 days and was able to, you know, sit back and look at it, more realistically. And when I came back, I actually came back in a better frame of mind and have been enjoying it. But My biggest issue has been my issue with BioWare since my days of beta testing, and that their communication to the customer base is not very good. And there are things, there are too many things, too many small things that I don't think they realize affect people that the way they do, that they don't communicate. Um, and I guess I'll do a specific one here. The thing with the social items, I was very upset with the social items. When I found out about that, I actually my enjoyment of the game went from like 1,000 to 0 in a matter of seconds when I logged in and realized that my social items had been basically turned to trash. And um, the point of the matter, and the point was there was no communication about it. It took them 7 days for a rep to to make a post on the forum that had been going on for 7 days. The post on the forum that had been going on for 7 days. It took them 7 days to post and say, "Oh, it was causing problems on tests, so we got rid of it." Really? Took you 7 days to say that? I know I'm trying not to be angry or upset about it, but it's the little things that always get to me. So I'm not giving them a grade because I
Oh.
just,
In the interest of fairness.
in the interest of fairness, and in regards to content, um, I love the new operation. Gotta tell you that. Love that. I love the new content that they put out. I love that I get to play a Twilight bounty hunter now. You know, I like the implementation of the legacy system. I like what's going to be coming up in it. Um, the the social items hit me pretty hard, and so I'm not. I just have to balance that out. And then
Part
in another week, I'm going to be like perfectly happy and content, and it'll be like it never happened, right? That's how it works.
don't
I'm a
don't
Gemini.
mess
Of course.
I'm a Gemini. I'm allowed to be both ways, right?
don't mess with party time Pip. I love it. I love it.
I agree. All right. Anyway, I guess we'll move on to my thoughts about everything. I am kind of in between where Cash and Lynn were and Chris. I would have to say B minus. Big time. I'm a big pet peeve of mine is communication, and when you don't include a lot of those things. Now, the social deal, they kind of mentioned something, but they were so vague about it that it just surprised a lot of people and upset a lot of people with it. It upset me too because I was actually starting to grind those Essalus runs and trying to get my levels up. Got to Social 5 and bought the Party Instigator for 10K. Now, granted, they made up for it for at least changing the value where we can sell it back for the same amount that we sold it at, except for somebody else that accidentally deleted theirs. But, Kim, but,
Shut up.
and sold hers,
Not supposed to say
and she
that.
wanted to keep it. I know, I'm sorry, but I couldn't help it. But, yeah, I was a little down about that too because I tried to go use it and it said this is no longer functional. It wasn't like some error or bug or anything. It was just they just totally removed its functionality from the game, all because people complained that it disrupted when they were reverse engineering on the fleet or anything, which I find is a bogus complaint because I know if you buff yourself, it wouldn't make you dance anymore the whole time you were there. You could run around. It wouldn't interrupt anything, so you can reverse engineer away all you want. So, I mean, the complaints that they killed it for were kind of weak, but they did try to, make reprimands for it and letting you sell it for the same amount that you bought it for. The other thing was the way, I'm not a big PvPer, but the way that they handled it 6 hours before they took the servers down for maintenance, announcing that, oh, we're not going to have ranked war zones in here now, but we're going to leave all the other effects of it in the game. Like Chris was saying, having to purchase things that are, you have to be ranked for it to get, but they're still going to have it there in the vendor. But you can't do ranked war zones. So to earn those ranked commendations, things like that, the way they handle that at the last minute, that's why I have to give them at least a B minus. Now, the next day, when they tried to do some patch fixes and they pretty much broke it, and gave another day after that and they tried to fix it, they were really trying to show that they do care. Like Mike said, he actually got to meet him in person at the Guild Summit, and he got to see how they really feel about the game. He said they play the game, they love it, they want it to be good. So I give them that benefit of the doubt and not to drop it any lower than that grade. But like Chris said, the communication, which is a very big pet peeve of mine, and Lynn knows it because we work together, and it's a big deal that really gets me upset at work when another branch is all of a sudden shipping me something. I'm an inventory controller, and it shows up, and I had no clue it was even coming because there was no communication. Things like that just really get on my nerves, and so I'd have to give them a little bit lower, but they are trying to make up for it with the 30 days. The Ram Pet trying to say about, it's kind of funny that the timing of all this was, oh, we want to reward the people who've been here all this time and everything, and after the bad stuff went through. It could be just coincidence. I mean, you got to, and I like to give people benefit of the doubt, or a company benefit of the doubt. But the way they communicate is the only thing that really, really hurts them right now. They're trying to make a good game. They're trying to keep it up there. And as Lynn said, the new operation, Explosive Conflict, it's actually a little bit of a challenge. Now, granted, yeah, it is a challenge. Well, here's what I want to get the point across, though. To hardcore players, they might be, oh, no, it's not that much of a challenge. All you do is everybody do everything right. I said, yeah, but you're not only hardcore players playing the game. So I think EV and KP, once you get rolling, they're not that hard at all. But compared to the new op, or especially the new Flashpoint with Lost Island, they added some mechanics in there that really make you think. And if you get people that have not played MMOs and have not done operations, which a lot of you know, we've taken many of our own members that have never played an MMO, never been in a raid before in previous games, in our groups. And when they get to see that and see what we do in a laxed type of atmosphere versus, somebody yelling at them because they did something wrong or whatever, they missed a mechanic, didn't move out of the fire, they're not being called, you're an idiot, oh my God, noob, and all these other kind of things, and it's nice to be in that kind of atmosphere and be able to take the people along and they actually enjoy it, and you get to introduce them something new to the game. And then having this new operation actually being a challenge for us to do, as the people that do this all the time, like in our ops team, Honey Badgers, we've had our ups and downs with members, sitting out or got kind of busy. I mean, we are a casual guild, so we don't, bump against that. But we've had a lot of subs and people coming in for the new team, and Pip joined us recently. And we've been really pushing. We had a lot of fun. The mechanics they've added in there and on story mode is actually a challenge. So it's pretty nice to see that. But like I said, I had to give them a B- just mainly because of communication.
Did you say on story mode it's a challenge for that,
yes.
The new raid?
On story mode, which they've changed that name.
Yes.
It used to be normal mode, but now they call it story.
Okay.
But it is actually a challenge. Now, Lost Island is probably not as much of a challenge on story, but you go to hard mode, it actually is hard. You really need people that are pretty decently geared to run that, and then everybody's got to be on their game. If they're not like full ricotta or anything, you got to be moving on the mechanics. Everybody has to be at the top of their game.
So I have a question for you, Steve. Mm-hmm. The Honey Badgers, your operations group right now, 8 people. Would it be fair to say that you guys are pretty much geared almost as much as you can be from Karaga's Palace and Eternity Vault?
Just about. We have a few. We have about 2 or 3 people that. Lynn, just recently, since he had to respec tank, he's been picking up off gear. But Fi has also had to switch to tank recently because our original tank had to quit because of school and work and everything. It's taking too much of his time.
So they've been picking up gear, but. Gotcha. Going into the new operation, now that we know that you guys are pretty much geared to the teeth. Did you go into the story mode operation with your Honey Badgers group?
We did have to sub the first night we did it, since Pip, like she said, she was gone when 1.2 launched. We went on Thursday night, and we had to pick up 1 or 2 people. One was a brand new member that we had just picked up, and then we had to pick up somebody's alt actually came in to help out. So we went in that group, and we just butted our heads against the first boss and finally figured out a strategy and actually took the first guys down that first night.
So even being in a geared group from the other two operations, you were still running into a pretty beefy challenge in story mode in the new operation. Okay, cool. I just wanted to put it together for everyone.
That up with how everybody was geared too. And like I said, that's why I say it's a challenge even in story mode because.
So you guys full cleared all the other operations on hard mode, right? And then now you're going into story mode on the new operation and finding it.
And it's fighting back.
Yeah.
And it's fighting back.
Lots of
wipage. To give
wipage.
another example of one of our other groups, Fighting Mongooses, they are literally all Ricotta geared. They've even beat KP and EV on Nightmare.
How are they doing?
They are actually, well, I don't know. It's been about 2 hours. They were supposed to start their group at 7 Central tonight.
Oh, okay.
For the final boss in there on story mode. So they weren't able to run it in one night either.
So they haven't even, have they cleared it? Has anyone in our guild cleared it yet?
Unless they did it tonight, no.
Oh, man. So that must be some tough stuff.
And like I said, that's story mode.
Whew.
Yeah.
But you know what? That's a difficulty that I think they needed to add.
They did.
Yeah, because
really
when you're completing all the other operations on hard mode, all the ones that they initially released on hard mode, you're gonna start getting toward that fatigue level where people are going, man, I don't really have anything else to log in, especially if people aren't into PvP and they're just hitting that PvE content. So I think the fact that they added that difficulty level was a smart move on their part.
They really needed to, because I know my group at one point, I think Blue, when you were still in our group, we decided to try to do both in one night on hard mode, and we weren't all Ricotta geared. And we completed KP and got all the way to SOA in
we
about
completed
3 hours.
Everything except for the final boss in EV, right?
So, and I know other people can do it faster. You know, I know, like I said, Finding Mongooses, they've done both of them in about 2.5.
Yeah.
So,
that's
and
true.
actually cleared them on hard mode. But
so
I mean,
it's a challenge.
To add that challenge in a new one altogether is very refreshing.
So I've got another quick question for you. Story mode operation, the new one. Mm-hmm. How does that gear that drops in story mode compare to the hard mode gear that drops the Ricotta, I guess?
It's the same.
It's the exact same. Okay.
Story mode drops Ricotta gear in this new one.
Okay. What does the hard mode drop?
Hard mode actually drops the new campaign set.
Okay. Cool. It's called campaign, so we got the Atenes, Ricotta, and then campaign?
Yes.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, you can pick.
Oh, yeah, Colomai. Forgot that.
Yeah.
Teeny's, Colomai, Ricotta.
Campaign. Now, in between that, there is what they call the black hole set. It's not a whole big difference between Ricotta and black hole, what I've seen from the statistics, at least for my Sentinel.
Gotcha.
But you can get those by doing the dailies on Corellia, doing the weekly for completing like the hard mode Lost Island. You can get black hole commendations and buy the gear from that. And to try to help out to be able to do the hard mode a little bit easier.
Cool.
For explosive conflict.
It's good to see that this operation isn't just
it's not just a trample down.
It's more of a Magic Mountain than a Disneyland. You got to buckle up, get ready for the loops. None of this little kiddie coaster stuff.
You definitely have to bring your A game for it.
Awesome.
But a casual team, I mean, like our guild. I mean, especially my team, I know we're really casual. We cut up the whole time, except when it's time to get down to fighting. If we're having trouble, I get with everybody and say, okay, let's get down to business. And we usually start pushing, start coming out with stuff. I let everybody contribute with anything they see and strategies and tips, and it usually helps us, and we usually get through it. So
cool. Well, right on, man. We got anything else on the round table, or are we gonna step over to the jettison tube and do the ceremony?
Yeah, I'd like to bring up, we were talked about before many times in this guild about family first before the game.
Yes.
So basically the question that we wanted to propose to at least all the hosts here and maybe have some of our members think about and maybe even discuss on our forums is, how do you balance a casual core gaming lifestyle with a family/work priorities? Mike, since you're the one that wanted to discuss this, why don't you start us off?
Yeah, I thought this would be a good question because it goes right along with the premise of our guild. And, I know it probably does get difficult because a lot of us really want it to start this game with a casual mindset, and I think our guild actually just kind of coined the term casual core because we really do have a lot of members out there that don't play as much as they want to, but when they do play, they are tackling the content with gusto, and they're doing extremely well. And I think it's been evidenced with our PvE divisions and our PvP divisions. So, the way that I do it personally is, and it's just a pretty simple answer for me, is I just make sure that my family comes first no matter what. So, I kind of have a weird schedule with relation to my job and childcare and stuff, but a lot of it is just really paying attention to the needs of what my wife wants. And if I tell her, hey, I got this or that going on, a lot of times I pose what I want to do in the form of a question, like, hey, do you mind if I do this at this particular time? Or, hey, do you have anything that you want to go do, or did you need anything done? And she'll kind of look at me and go, no, you're good. I know you want to play. But the other thing that I do too is I don't play if my daughter's up and awake and she's wants to spend time with dad. I don't play. I usually won't play unless it's a weekend. When we're just lounging around the house or something. I usually won't play unless my daughter's asleep or my wife goes to sleep. They go to bed relatively early, but I think as long as you make your family a priority, and this goes for the single folks that we have too. If you make your job a priority and your family a priority, it's going to work out for you in the long haul, and you can still have that healthy balance of being a very active player and still providing for your family and providing the effort that you need to in your job, and not being a victim of one of those ads in the gaming magazines that say, do you play all hours of the day? Do you have a urinal at the side of your computer? That kind of stuff. So
the all-in-one chair.
Yeah, and man, I think I think it really is
That's
just a
pretty
balance.
messed up.
It is pretty messed up. It reminds me of a certain South Park episode.
The poop sock.
But I think really it boils down to common sense. If you're looking at somebody and you can sense that they need your time, you should give them your time, man. It's a game. Walk away from it. Go do what you need to do. And it's somebody had proposed it. I think at one time one of the officers had proposed it, and we ended up not doing it. But we proposed a no Ord weekend, or a no tour Friday or something like that. And really, we thought it was a great idea. Where we're going to try to coercion's not the right word. We're going to try and get people to just think about their family first and put the game down for a day. But we decided, it's not our place to say anything like that. It's really the person who plays. You can't really say, no word this or no word that. People still want to log in. They're going to play on their different play schedules. But I think the premise, and I think our hearts were in the right spot when we were talking about doing it. It's just, you need to make sure that you put your family first over anything, and just go spend the time with them. And as long as you can have that healthy balance, you can still sneak in your game time.
Yes.
Well
Anybody
said,
else want to elaborate on that?
Sure.
Chris?
Yeah, I'll hop in here real quick. So I've had a lot of stuff going on the last 2.5, 3 weeks, and haven't had so much time to play. What I do is before I step in the game, first of all, I try and make sure everything around me is taken care of. If my wife is cooking dinner and she can't watch the kids at the same time, so I don't play at that time, or try not to. And you just balance your real life schedule with what's going on. I'll usually only step on, for an hour, maybe 2 at the most. Do a little bit of PvP, maybe some daily quests, mess around with crafting. I had to drop out of our operations group because it was too much of a time commitment for me to really honestly give that commitment to all the other 7 people in that operation group, and wanted to spend a little bit more time with the family. But one thing I started doing, I have a brother, my oldest brother. He plays Star Wars: The Old Republic. He lives about an hour and a half away from me, and we don't get to see each other very often, But we have this thing going where we created 2 characters, and the only time we ever play those characters, minus crafting, is when we're playing with each other. And it's something that we do together to keep in touch. I've got my 2 monitors, got Skype video chatting with him on one monitor and my game on the other. So I can, sit there and spend some time with him, 2-3 hours on a Saturday morning. And then we can play together. What we're really trying to do is, so I've got a Sith Warrior tank, and he's got a Inquisitor Sorcerer Healer. And then we have our 2 DPS companions. And the challenge that we do is we challenge ourselves to we're going to go through every flashpoint, minus maybe some of the level 50 ones, and do it just the 2 of us with our companions. And we wipe a lot sometimes, and we might have to come back a little later when we got a few more levels. But oh my gosh, it's so much fun. We're able to do all the heroic 4s together because we got the tank and the healer. Yeah. And we're able to do all the flashpoints. We did Aethys twice last night. We did 2 heroic 4s this morning, and we're getting ready to do the Mandalorian Raider flashpoint. Pretty cool. So that's just what I do to kind of facilitate some family time while I play.
Awesome.
I love
Anybody
that
else
you
wanna
play with
chime
your brother. I think that's so neat.
That is cool.
The sad thing is, it's the 2 characters that we have are not on our server, and they're my hiding character. It's my hiding character. You'll never know.
I can't say I blame you on that one. I admittedly, I have a character. I have an operative on the Jek Tar where I play, and it's usually Sunday evenings. I play PvP with the guys from Old Republic Radio.
Nice.
And don't get me wrong, I love our community, and I will drop whatever I'm doing most times to help folks out, just because I love helping people out, and I love my position. But it is nice to just kind of be able to play, and dare I say the word, unmolested.
You're not supposed to tell them about that, Mike. That was our secret.
Keep that hush, man.
I know, and it's not like it's going to be hard for them to find me either, because it's Cash in the Old Republic Radio Guild.
Yeah, nice.
So, but
wait, what server was it on? Jektar? Okay, everyone, write it down.
Yeah, no, shoot, come on over and play. It's a blast over there. Not that I want to take people away from Shadowlands, but I'll tell you what, I have almost the entire community over at Old Republic Radio. All those guys want to come over to Shadowlands and play with us. Yeah, nice. But they all have high level characters over there on Jektar. So it is nice to hide sometimes, though. It's not a bad thing.
Leonard, Kim, you guys got any input on this guy?
Well, when it comes right down to it, finding that balance between family and game is a little bit different for everybody. I know I've scaled back a little bit myself recently. Not necessarily because I was, getting any grief. It's just because I felt like I wasn't doing enough on the family side. So I kind of scaled back. It's really kind of a self-moderating thing. When you're not doing what you need to be doing. So that's kind of different for all of us. And one other note on the family side, one thing I did enjoy recently, we made a normal run through Eternity Vault, through Karaga's Palace recently with some players that hadn't had some of that exposure, and one of the ones that we got to run with was Scuba's brother Gallios. He got to come along with us and pick up a little bit of gear and see what it's like, and we had a good time.
Yeah, I just want to chime in and say I love it that we're taking members through that this is their first MMO, and they haven't. This is something that for instance, in World of Warcraft, it took me a long time to get through any of that endgame content, just because I was undergeared. The particular guild that I was in was not a very family-friendly guild. they had very serious rating teams, and it just wasn't the place for me. But I wasn't that experienced with guilds and everything at that particular time to realize it. So I think the fact that we're able to take a fresh 50 people who have never played an MMO before, this is their first one, and take them through that end game content just because we have experienced players that want those people to see that content. That's what's going to hook MMO players. And I think what's scary is whatever the lifespan of SWTOR is, and I hope it's years and years, but I think even at that point, once the game is gone and the next best thing comes out, it's going to be really hard to find a community like this ever. I just, hands down, I am so pleased with the way our community is and the attitude that we have. So a big thank you to everybody out there for doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah, definitely requires some patience sometimes, and much appreciated. I'm sure everyone else appreciates it as well. All right, Kim, you there?
Yes, I am.
Sweet. Are we all good on the round table there, Steve?
Yes, we are good to go.
You know what time it is, don't you?
It's jettison time.
Jettison. All right, let's get up off our chairs. We're going to walk over to the tube and perform the ceremony to say goodbye to one of our own.
Yes, and the time has come. He's been needing to go in here since the very, very beginning.
Gungan decapitated.
Put on your parachute there, man.
Cash, you are in the tube.
Oh, the Cash man.
Where's the love? Where's the love?
It's right here, man. Right on my handle on the little lever that opens the jettison tube. That's where my love is.
It's just convenient because you're here already.
Yeah.
So I guess what we've established is that the members don't have to particularly do anything wrong to be put in the tube.
Yes.
Correct.
And this is also proof that none of our hosts, no one in Old Republic Dads is safe. Just so you know. Leader.
We are not immune.
Show. Member. Children. Women. Doesn't matter. You have the chance to go down the tube.
Yes, but we're not going to let you go down alone this time. We're actually going to send Jar Jar with you.
Oh, there you go. Your best buddy.
I'm gonna have to boil myself in salt after that. After this ride, get Jar Jar off of me.
Yes, you will. So.
And why are we putting him
yes.
in the tube? By the way?
Because we went an entire podcast, 60 minutes, and we didn't get to hear a siren.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
So, Mike, you're at work, right?
I am at work.
And what do you do for a living?
I'm a fire captain in Southern California.
Sweet.
Evidently at a very slow fire station, so it's an even better thing.
I'm all about pictures. Describe the location where you're broadcasting from here.
I am broadcasting from the east side of our fire station, where the boys are on the other side, and I'm surprised that they haven't come in here and thrown fruit at me yet. But I'm just in the office portion.
Do they know what you're doing?
Oh, they know what I'm doing.
And they're not mocking you or sticking their head in and making
trying to make you laugh.
No, they're being very nice.
If they have not thrown fruit, they obviously haven't heard the gratitude song.
That's true. Oh man.
I will have to say that maybe it's just because I'm their supervisor and I can make tomorrow a very difficult day for them. I can go out and train all day long if they bug me.
Oh, nice. So, Kim, what are we going to be sending Mike here for his jettison ritual?
Well, we think that Mike needs some fluids.
Yep.
Anything that's a fluid.
So Mike is a firefighter.
That scares me.
Yeah.
He needs more water. He needs more fluid so he can put out those fires better.
Nothing oil
You gotta
based.
hydrate when you're out there, man.
No oil based, no gasoline, nothing that's flammable.
No alcohol.
Mind you. Yep, no alcohol. It has to be to use to put out a fire. So when you get into game next time, could be tonight, could be right now, or when you're listening to this on recording, just look up Cash and send him up some fluids. Fill up his bank.
Or you can send me your Rackle comms. I'll take those too.
Those don't put out fires.
All right. So let me prepare the tube here, and Well, brother, we'll see you on the flip side. We'll swing back around after we stop by the station. We'll pick you up, okay? Just hold your breath. All right, and we will see you later. Bye. See ya.
There he goes.
Why does he sound like a girl when he screams?
You know, Chris, I think you're probably in the best position to answer that question.
Oh, man. No, we love you, brother. We love you. Yeah, we'll go swing him up and pick him up real quick and so he can say goodbye. All right, you got him, Kim? Okay, bring him in.
I got him.
All right. Hey,
We're gonna leave
Cash,
him in
welcome
the-
back.
He's kind of smelly. We're gonna leave him in the cargo hold.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll toss him a
Jar Jar
mic.
out there, right?
We'll toss him a mic.
Jar Jar puke. Jar Jar puke on me.
Oh, there he is. Oh, what's up, man?
Ew.
Jar Jar Puke. Is it JJP?
You're
Nice.
all sticky.
Awesome. Well, shall we give our closing shout-outs? Anyone got anything final they want to say?
I do. I just want to congratulate Chris on his new job, and wish
thanks,
you the best.
man. I appreciate
Congrats.
it. I'm joining the ranks of the IT working force, and really looking forward to it. I start in, let's see, 13 hours.
Good luck,
Looking
man.
forward to it.
Awesome.
Appreciate it. Anyone else?
Don't forget to stop by Sonny's Sportsbook and
Yes.
and continue to drain him of funding.
Or support his addiction.
Or
Yes.
support his
Indeed.
addiction.
And if
We're
you
gonna
happen
have
to be a
one of
poker
those.
player,
We love Sonny.
What do they call those meetings that you?
An intervention.
Yeah, intervention.
Yes.
Intervention on the Esselus ship near the Savik table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need to keep an eye on that. It may become addictive.
No, I'm kidding. We love you, brother.
and if you happen to be a poker player, until such time that they put Sabak and Pazak into the game, we do have our own little poker club, and you can find the information about that on the forums under Sonny Sportsbook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I might have to hop into that. I love poker. That's a great idea.
Bring it on.
Shall I grab the guitar so we can sing a closing song, Mike?
Nope.
No.
No, I'm just kidding. I think
You're
we serenaded
vetoed.
him enough. All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us tonight for episode number 25 of the Ordcast. And I have not completed editing on episode 24 yet. That will be complete here in the next 2 days. This episode will be complete in the next 3 to 4 days. Thank you for your patience on that, and we'll get these episodes out to you as quickly as possible. And thank you for stopping by tonight. We really appreciate you guys, and we'll see you in game. Shall you take us out there, Kim?
Yes, setting course for the outer rim. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
See you next time.
Thank you for joining the ORDcast crew on this week's mission. Follow the Old Republic Dads on Facebook and Twitter at Old Republic Dads. Follow the crew members on Twitter: Kim at Johnny, Cash at SW Lunatic, Chris at ORD2 Chris, Lynn at Leonard H. Brown, and Steve at Steve Bruni. Be sure to rate and subscribe to our bi-weekly episodes on iTunes and ordcast.podbeam.com. Check out our affiliates, Sonny's Diner Podcast at moseisleyradio.com and Old Republic Radio at oldrepublicradio.net.
Transmission terminated.